Hello everyone, this is Andrew from Tap2Cast, and I am bringing you a deck tech on the standard deck I am running at the moment, and it is red, white, blue control, otherwise known as USA control. And for those observant people, yes, those are tiles in the back behind my playmat. I am currently recording this in the bathroom, on my bathroom floor, for reasons of it has the best lighting in my house at the moment, and the game room sadly does not. So let's just get into the deck tech here. This is, I want to call it a homebrew, but it really isn't, because if you look up USA decks you will see basically the same layout as mine, maybe a few different things, but still. Anyways, we will start off with the land I use. Now if it'll focus. Focus. Really, you're not going to focus? Oh well. Hopefully you can tell by the art, but I have one Temple of Enlightenment, one Azorious Guildgate, two Temple of Triumph. Yeah, I'm sorry if it's not really focusing that much. It was focusing earlier before I hit record. I don't know why it's not now. It's very irritating to me. But along with those, I run two planes. I believe 4 mountains. Yep, 4 mountains. These are actually my favorite mountains. 3 Zendikar and then 1 promo foil from 2001, I don't know the set that it's from. And then we have a play set, which is basically 4, as you all know, of Portal Islands. These are the best islands I own, because I like them. I always like old land. That's just a little FYI. And then we have the Shocklands, which is a play set of Hallowed Fountain. A playset of Steam Vents, and then a playset of of Sacred Foundry. I'm sorry, it's like 2 in the morning. Yeah, it's 2:05. Anyways, from there we have the instant sorceries and enchantments that I use to control the battlefield. And I want to run more than this, but this is all we at Tap2Cast have of this card. Counterflux. This is a good matchup for, thinking about putting it in the sideboard, but it's a good matchup against other control decks because it itself cannot be countered. I run 2 Divination, just because who doesn't like drawing extra cards during their turn? And yeah, I like the art on the one of the gods. My bad, one of the gods card. After that, I run 2 Syncopate, which is a good counterspell, because you just tap 1. My bad, let me get it in frame. Just tap the blue and then the X amount, and it's always good to just do 1 more. Well, this is obvious. Just do 1 more X amount of mana than what your opponent has for land, and that'll basically counter it, unless they have a counter themselves, and then you are basically screwed because you wasted all your mana. I've run into that before. But Syncopate's a really good counter spell. I have board wipe here, just 2 Supreme Verdict, which is good for clearing the board, except for those indestructible creatures, and it can't be countered, so yeah. After that we have 2 Chain to the Rocks. This is good removal. All you have to do is enchant one of your mountains and it'll exile one of the opponent's creature. Again, I'm sorry if I'm like stuttering or pausing. It is late at night and I'm tired, but I just want to get content out for the 11 subscribers we have. We have 2 Tone and Burn, which is really good for let's say they have an unmonstrous Polis Crusher, which is a 4/4, tap 5 mana, and you can cast both sides of Turn and Burn, which will turn it into a 0/1 red weird creature until end of turn, and then right after that it burns it for 2 damage and kills it. That comes in handy against bigger creatures that don't have hexproof. Then we have 2 Assemble the Legion. This is a good enchantment to have because every turn you get more and more red-white soldier tokens, because it's a 5-drop, so turn 5 play this, turn 6 you get 1 more, turn 7 you get 2 more, which will then equal 3 on the board, so on and so forth until it gets out of hand pretty fast if they don't get rid of it. Then we have 3 Azorious Charm. I'm only use this for 2 of its 3 abilities. Since I don't have many creatures in this deck, you'll see that how many I run later. I don't need it to give them lifelink, but I usually use it to draw a card or send an attacking creature back to the top of my opponent's library. So 3 of those. Let me get this art out. Magma Jet. It's a good 2-drop burn spell that deals 2 damage, and after you deal the damage, you get to scry 2. Which, for those who don't know what scry is, you can look at the top 2 cards of your library, decide if you want to keep them on top, or put them at the bottom, or put 1 at the bottom, or rearrange the order you get them in. So yeah, 3 of those. It's good to get rid of low creatures, like low toughness creatures, and or just to win the game if your opponent's on 2 life. Stuff like that. Then we have a counterspell known as Dissolve from the Theros block. It's a 3-drop. It's the most used counterspell I have in my arsenal. After I counter the spell, I'm allowed to scry 1. So yeah, I run 3 of them in here. Notice until I'm making this video, there is a lot of 3 copies in my instant sorceries and enchantments. But then the last 3 cards I have is Detention Sphere. Really, really good removal. I really enjoy this card. It comes in handy to getting rid of Planeswalkers, getting rid of anything that they have multiples of, such as, say, you're playing someone that plays Elspeth and they have like 20 of her soldiers on the field. Just taps 3 mana and boom, they're all exiled. Well, they fizzle because they're not actual cards in the library, but yeah, still gets rid of them. Now we have the Planeswalkers I run in this deck. There are 2, 4, 6 of them. The first one is Jace Memory Adept. I am terribly sorry about the quality right now. I don't know why it's not focusing well. Maybe it switched to bad kind of focus, but yeah, you can't read any of that. Maybe editing it will fix that. Probably not, but Jace Memory Adept, he's a really good Planeswalker. In my deck, I usually just have him, I just always +1 him to draw a card, and then have my opponent put the top card of their library into the graveyard, or just as 1 and his 0 are the most used I have, where his 0 is they mill 10 cards. So I run 1 Memory Adept. Then I run Jace Architect of Thought, the Return to Ravnica Jace. He's 4-drop, and I usually use his +1 ability against aggro decks, so I don't get dealt as much damage, or his -2 where I can factor Fiction. So I want to get more of him in my deck, probably replace Memory Adept with him. I'm planning to get another one from the dual decks of him versus Vraska in March. So hopefully I'll get another one Architect of Thought. But yeah, 1 of him. Oh, let me fix the camera a little bit so you can see the entire deck laid out. Well, I'll actually just move them into frame.
There we go.
After Jace, I have 2 copies of Elspeth, Sun's Champion. Elspeth is a really good Planeswalker. As soon as you bring her in, you can get 3 blockers on turn 6. Hold on. I'm sorry if the volume of my voice keeps changing. I am trying to get comfortable again. I am recording on the bathroom floor because of the good lighting in here. But yeah, 2 Elspeth, Sun's Champion. All of her abilities are really good to use. I'm actually able to -7 her to get the emblem. But I mainly, like everyone, mainly use her +1 to put 3 soldier tokens on the field, or her -3 comes in handy a lot. When, say, you're playing mono black, and someone has 2 desecration demons on the field, and you've provided her tokens up and they're really strong, and then you -3 her and they get destroyed, because it destroys creatures with power 4 or greater. So yeah, Elspeth's a really good Planeswalker. I enjoy her. She is my favorite Planeswalker in the Theros block. And now we have the final one I run, and it's 2 Ral Zarek. Ral Zarek's a good Planeswalker for his +1, where you get to tap target permanent, and then you untap one of your permanents. So say you played him one turn, then you play him, and then you play, say, one of the shock lands up there, let's say Hallowed Fountain. You +1 him, you get to untap that, so you can use the same one you played that turn. This -2 comes in handy to kill small creatures, and it's rare, but when you get the chance, always, in my opinion, always ultimate Ral, always -7 him if you get the chance, even if it kills him, because it's a chance, but you can get up to 5 extra turns if you get 5 heads in the coin flip. So 2 of him, and then onto my very low creature pile of my control deck. I only run 3 creatures in this, and 2 of them will be this guy. Aetherling is a really good blue card because of his abilities, and if you play your cards right, he is basically he's indestructible, basically, is what I'm trying to get across. If someone tries to target him with a Doomblade, tap a blue and blink him, which means exile him and then return him at the end of the end step, or someone's going to play Supreme Verdict to the same, or at the end of your turn after you attack with him and make him unblockable and deal extra damage with his other abilities down here. After you attack with him and the damage is dealt, blink him and bring him back at the end of your turn so you can have a blocker next turn if it is necessary. So yeah, 2 Aetherling, fix the camera. The last creature I run in this deck will be Thassa, God of the Sea. I rarely get her in my opening hand, but when she does, she is the #1 thing I play turn 3. Because every turn at the beginning of my upkeep, I get to scry 1. If I tap 2, target creature becomes unblockable, which means if I have my devotion high enough and I have 5 blue permanents or stuff that shares blue, such as like maybe an Aetherling and that, and a Ral or something else like that, I can have my devotion, I can attack with her plus Aetherling, make them both unblockable with his ability, and then hers to make her unblockable, and get in for a lot of damage. I have her in here because she's blue and the scrying, basically. That's the only reason. Anyways, that's the main board. Now let me clean this up. And now it is on to show you the sideboard. What was that? Oh. Should have apologized for this earlier, but if you hear like a blowing noise in the background, that is because I have the fan on in the bathroom because it is scorching hot in here, and I am very uncomfortable because it is the bathroom floor I am recording on. But anyways, in my sideboard I have another memory adept. I always I side him in when I am really annoyed with the deck I'm facing. Say it's red-green monsters, and I don't want those monsters to come out. I side an extra one of him so there is a more chance for me to draw him and then use his 0 ability to get rid of said monsters early. Also in the sideboard I have one Elixir of Immortality. Whenever I side this in, I hope to get it opening hand or soon afterwards, and after I exhaust a lot of my burn and counter spells, I can play it, tap 2, tap it, sacrifice it, gain 5 life, shuffle it and my graveyard back into my library. So it's a good card. It comes in handy when I get to do it. So one of them. Yet again, sorry for the quality. Here at Tap to Cast we just have a very poor camera. We will be getting better equipment hopefully soon. We just need money. Anyways, we have 2 Warleader's Helix. I usually side this in against bigger creature decks such as red-green monsters for, say, Polis Crusher or, trying to think, Boon Satyr, stuff like, or Gore-Clan Rampager to deal 4 to them, kill it, and then I myself gain 4 life. So 2 of those in the sideboard. The next couple of things come in handy in multiple ways. This comes in handy against like mono white splash another color weenie decks, because it can get rid of a Johnny, the Spear of Heliod and stuff like that, and just annoying creatures. 2 of those. Last Breath, it has a downside, but it comes in handy against aggro decks, well, weenie decks I mean, because I can exile target creature with power 2 or less, and then the downside is its controller gains 2 life. My bad, 4 life. So downside to Last Breath, but it's a good card, and I side it in against aggro decks. Well, mainly weenie decks. Then we have Gainsay, the blue card from Theros. I side this in against other control decks because it counters target blue spell and only a target blue spell, so there's Gainsay for that. 2 of them. 2 negates for the same purposes of countering, say, Elspeth or an enchantment or a counterspell. I can side this in and play it to counter the counterspell with this, because it's for countering non-creature spells. 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. And the last 3 cards I have here is Mizzium Mortars. This comes in great handy against weenie decks. I side this in, and since I'm playing control and I'm running 25 or 26 land, I'm not sure, but since I'm running that many land, I am able to do the overload cost. That way each of my opponent's creatures gets dealt 4 damage. So it's a board wiping spell, I would say, like Supreme Verdict, although for a higher cost. God, my back is killing me. Anyways, that was my USA deck, my USA control deck. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about the quality, sorry about the background noise, and sorry about the volume of my voice changing the whole friggin' time. I'm not sure if I'm going to edit this. I probably won't, because my editing software is kind of crap right now. So I'm probably just going to upload it straight to YouTube as soon as I turn off the video camera. The deck list, if you can't understand me because of my speech impediment, if you can't understand what I'm saying and you can't read the cards, the deck list will be down below in the description. As always, thank you for tuning in to Tap to Cast. I am Andrew, and I am signing off. But before I actually do turn the camera off, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share our videos, get us known, and get around fucking stupid Google+. Pardon my language at the end. Anyways, bye.